Okay. Man, some of you guys are so impatient. Man, some of you guys need to learn some patience, man. My goodness. Freaking out. Losing your minds. Oh my goodness. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Like, I was setting up the speech recognition for my computer. Like it's been 3 minutes and people are like, "Are you okay? Like, are you dying? Like, are you dead, Rob? Like, are you okay? Is everything okay?" I'm like, "It's been 3 minutes, guys." If I said I was going to start at 9:30 and I didn't start until like 10 o'clock, then I could see where people would be freaked out. But it's been like 3 minutes. You guys will be fine. I do love pie. Like, I definitely love pie. Forever you said yesterday. Just do it. Shia LaBeouf, I love you, man. You're my main man. You're my main man. So, do you ever feel? I feel all the time. Like, I have feels. Is this the Shia LaBeouf? It's every day is Shia LaBeouf Appreciation Day. Like, every day is Appreciation Day. What's your favorite comic? Yeah. What's your favorite Secret Wars tie-in? Definitely Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan's solid. Like, I was initially kind of like excited for like Years of Future Past. I was like, hey, this is starting off cool, and then just dropped off kind of garbagey. And so I was like, okay, that sucks. So I stopped worrying about it. But I'm not that big of a fan of it. This is your first time here? Well, welcome, welcome. Like, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Like, this is cool. The voice is here. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I did an audiobook recording of "Go the F to Sleep" on Rob Reads, because people were like, you should do that, and I was like, I mean, why not? It's just a channel where I just read stuff. Why not? It'll just be fun. So I did that, and I uploaded it, and it seems to be pretty popular. Well, relatively popular so far. So people seem to dig it, and yeah, it was funny. It was funny. Why are you so successful and charismatic? I mean, I don't think I'm. I mean, I guess I am. I mean, I just talk about stuff that I love. Like, I love making videos and stuff, and talking about comics. Did you like school? College wasn't really for me. College was okay. I mean, it was. I mean, I took a couple semesters and took calculus, stuff like that, and it just wasn't really my cup of tea. That being said, that's me. Like, don't skip out on college. Go, like, go to college and get a degree. How do you think the DC heroes would have handled the Incursions? Time runs out. That's a tough. That's a tough question. I think they probably would have panicked and died. Like, I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, they had Crisis on Infinite Earths, so I guess they probably handled it the same way. So, Rob, where did Deadpool get his teleporter from? From Cable, if that's what you're talking about. Like, yeah, he got it from Cable. Oh, I'm all out of coffee. Like, well, I had coffee, but then I drank it all. I was setting up the voice recognition for my PC, which is one of the reasons I was a couple minutes late. But I think I'm gonna start like dictating my scripts using voice recognition and kind of seeing how that goes. Like, we'll see what's up, because it's easier for me to just like say what I want, it's easier for me to just kind of speak my thoughts out loud than it is for me to type it out. And I don't know why. It's just like there's a barrier there where it's just like, nah. I can't do it for some reason. Started watching DBZ. You've never seen Dragon Ball Z before? Like, wow. DBZ is amazing. Like, I love DBZ. Yeah, I answered okay. This is a Q&A session. Why do you guys get so amazed when I answer your questions? Like, what kind of Q&A would this be if I didn't answer questions? If I just made up my own questions and answered them? Rob Reads, yes, Rob Reads. Someone get coffee, stat, get coffee, get us coffee now. Why is the Sentry dead? Because he just wasn't doing well, and fans hated him. Fans hated his character. Like, the Sentry I thought he was really good with his limited series under Jenkins and Jay Lee, and then Quesada was like, let's take all that Marvel Knights stuff and just fold it over into the main universe, and then it just got dumb after that. So people hated it. Damn it, Rob, be serious. Don't take life too seriously, guys. You'll never make it out alive. The Spawn video was fun to make. Like, I enjoyed it. I mean, at this point, I want to experiment with indie books. Like, Spawn, the origins of Spawn, and the story of Spawn, and how it became Spawn. That was fun, and I want to experiment with other stuff. Like, I want to do... I want to show you guys this first. Check this out. So I got a 1 in 100 variant cover for Star Wars. And what this means is that in order for the comic book store to get it, they have to order 100 issues of Secret Wars, like Secret Wars number 7, in order to get this variant. And yeah, like this, or I'm sorry, not Secret Wars, Star Wars. They have to order 100 copies of Star Wars in order to get this variant cover. And so they have, I don't know how many they sold, but yeah, this is the variant cover for issue number 7, and it looks amazing. Like, it looks nice. I like it. Like, I think I'm gonna get this autographed by probably like Stan Lee, hopefully at some point, and then I don't know if George Lucas is going to be at like conventions or anything, but it'd be cool to get like a Stan Lee and George Lucas autograph, and then get this thing boxed up. You know, get it graded and get it boxed, and just like leave it that way, like never ever take it out or anything. So. Let's see. Who's your favorite Marvel character? Probably the Sentry. In terms of his original, I guess maybe his original story is what I love the most. Like, in terms of characters, probably Wolverine, like the Old Man Logan version of Wolverine. Super Saiyan 4 versus Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Well, see, here's a kicker, guys. For those of you guys who are reading, who are following up on the Dragon Ball universe at the moment. Okay, here's my question. How many of you here saw Dragon Ball GT? Like, that's the question I'll ask before you guys, before I go any further. Rob, explain Sandman Overture, please. My life wouldn't be complete. What do I think about We Are Robin? It's decent enough. I like the idea of We Are Robin. The problem is it's the problem is this, like, you know, are those tie-ins going to matter? You know, or not really tie-ins. Like, are those stories going to really continue on? Are they going to become anything stellar? I'd like a group of teenagers fighting, you know, We Are Robin. I like that idea. A story focused on teenagers. That's a cool concept. Having said that, you know, I got to be honest. I like the idea of a single Robin fighting beside Batman. It's just something I've always been a huge fan of. You know, I've always been a huge idea. Like, I've always enjoyed it. There we go. I can't talk. Okay, absolutely. Somebody was like, absolutely not. Okay, so for those of you guys who never saw Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball GT was, like, a lot of fans hate it. Like, I mean, I don't like Dragon Ball GT. Like, I think it was an awful TV show. I didn't really dig it too much. But, you know, that being said, there are people who do enjoy it. Dragon Ball GT was a follow-up to Dragon Ball Z, and it was basically trying to capitalize on the popularity of Dragon Ball Z. The problem was that Akira Toriyama didn't come back for Dragon Ball GT. Like, he wasn't the one running the show. And so in Dragon Ball GT, really one of the only things that people care about that came out of that show was Super Saiyan 4. And the way that Super Saiyan 4 worked, and I was originally going to include this in the Dragon Ball, or in the Super Saiyan transformations, but I wanted to leave it out because I didn't really want to focus, like, I wanted to focus on Dragon Ball Z and what's considered canon as part of the Dragon Ball Z universe, the movies. And I guess the movies are kind of canon if you want them to be. But, you know, I figured I'd focus on the Dragon Ball Z universe going into Dragon Ball Super. Because Super seems to retcon Dragon Ball GT. But nonetheless, the way it worked in Dragon Ball GT was that if a Saiyan had a tail, and they looked at something that emitted brute rays, and all brute rays was basically, like, I was talking to Geekdom 101 about this, because I never really understood brute waves when I was younger. Like, I never really understood how that worked. Brute waves are basically just like light reflecting from the sun, or I guess light from the sun reflecting off the planet Earth, and that creates brute rays. And so in the story, it was a whole different thing with baby and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, what ends up happening is Goku gets his tail back. He looks at the sun, or I'm sorry, he looks at the Earth. When the sun's light is reflecting off of it in the form of brute rays, he turns into a golden ape, a golden great ape. When a Saiyan masters their ability to control themselves as a golden great ape, then they turn into a Super Saiyan 4. And Super Saiyan 4 was super powerful. It was like god level powerful. That's basically what they were saying. They were like, he was on the level of a god. And it was interesting to see, but fans were just like, this sucks. Like, blunts waves, blunts waves, smoking them blunts waves. But fans were like, this show sucks. And so, like, what seems to be happening is Super Saiyan, you know, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan seems to be like retconning it, which is fine by me. I don't care. Like, I didn't like Dragon Ball GT that much, but, you know, that's why I really left it out, is because right now it's not canon. Like, at least it doesn't seem to be. They really haven't said anything to indicate that, you know, that it matters at all. The lag is real. The lag's real on your end, I would say. But yeah, so ever consider doing the entire Spawn series explained? I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of swinging for the fences, and I'm just trying different things out. I may get into that at some point along the line, but I wouldn't say yes right now. Hulk or Beast, who's better? Hulk. I mean, that's not a debate. But Vegeta, Vegeta kind of mastered it. Hi Rob, do you write or illustrate any comics of your own? No, I don't have any. I don't. You know, it's somebody asked me that once before in a live stream, and I made an analogy of like being a DJ. You know, because I've got Newmark NS7s in the closet back there, And I used to DJ like way back when. It was fun. DJing and that kind of thing. It's like DJing and producing. Do I want to produce content, or do I want to produce material, or do I want to like just enjoy the material, read the material, and so on? I'd rather read it. I don't want to be a producer. I don't want to make comic books and write comic books and anything like that. Because I'd rather just read them. See what kind of other things people can make, because there's people out there that are far better and far more creative than I am. And so, I wouldn't really be interested in jumping into that. Worst video game movie ever? Street Fighter. You've been doing great on the new stuff on your channel. Well, it's delving into comics, because here's the thing, guys. Like my channel was founded on comic books, like Marvel, DC content, and those aren't going anywhere. Right now we're getting ready to jump into Batman with Night of the Owls, and then Death of the Family, and then Endgame to get current on Batman. So hopefully by like the 6th of September, like Batman Endgame will be finished. I'm working on the script right now for Night of the Owls, but like there's the Jean Grey thing that we're doing right now, and all that kind of good stuff. And once we're done with that, right now the Jean Grey thing is just something I felt like doing because there's Secret Wars and nothing else in Marvel right now. None of the tie-ins are completed. Like the tie-ins aren't done. They're just still going on. And so there's really nothing going on at Marvel right now. It's just kind of a dead period, and it sucks, And so I'm just, doing Marvel stories that I find interesting, and I love the story of the Phoenix Saga and the Dark Phoenix Saga and that kind of stuff. And so, I figured I'd do different things about that. But I also want to expand out. I don't want to be just the Marvel and DC guy. So I figured, I took a risk. Like I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a Dragon Ball video and see what happens. And people were like, I love Dragon Ball Z. You love Dragon Ball Z. Everybody loves Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm down with that. And so I was like, let's do some Dragon Ball Z videos. And so, I want to do a Dragon Ball video a week. And plus I wanted to branch out into indie comics. If any of you guys caught the Weekly Poll podcast, which I uploaded onto YouTube the other day, I was talking to Tiffany and to Faust, and I was like, teach me about indie comics. Tell me the best ones that you can think of. And a lot of people were saying a lot of different things. Some were saying East of West, which I got East of West. Some people were saying, Invincible. Some people were saying Witches. People were saying different things. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to jump into indie comics, I'm going to start with Spawn, the original, super successful independent comic book franchise. The Walking Dead probably is more successful now, but, I'd say that in terms of like indie comics sold and so on, I think that Spawn probably beat it out for quite a good amount of time. I mean, the first issue sold 1.5 million copies, so but yeah, Heroes Reborn. I mean, it's all that comic book lore, all that superhero kind of stuff, that I like talking about. And yeah, so that's pretty much where things are going is to maintain what it was that made my channel successful, but also try new things, and there are going to be people who are going to be adverse to it. Some are going to say like I don't want you to try new things, I want you to stick with old things. But as times change, and the only way to stay successful and not become irrelevant on YouTube is to evolve and constantly grow and constantly change. And so the way I take it is that people who say, we don't want your channel to change, or are basically telling me like, we don't want your channel to stay successful, we want your channel to fail. And so those people usually just get ignored. But Young Justice Renewal, rumor or fact, I have no idea. But I like the idea of Young Justice. Like I would love to see it continue. Oh, your opinion on Robin, Jared Leto, Joker? Okay, we'll talk about that here in a second. Like, I like the idea of Young Justice because to me, there always needs to be an element. Like, Justice League is cool. People love the idea of like the grown-up adult superheroes fighting and stuff like that. But there always needs to be an element of comic books that are simply just designed for young kids, for young adult readers. Yeah, I've seen Fear the Walking Dead. It's amazing. There need to be books that are designed for young adult readers, but that are also that also have adult themes, because kids who, people who are 13, 14, 15 years old don't want to read a comic book that treats them like they're, like they're 7 years old. I mean, when a person sits down and says, I'm going to read Young Justice, they don't want to read the book and feel as though they're being catered, or the book's catering to 7-year-old kids. They want to be like, I'm not necessarily an adult, but I'm not an idiot, and don't treat me like an idiot. And Young Justice doesn't do that. Young Justice treats young adults like young adults. And Storm is Omega level. She is that powerful. Well, she's possibly Omega level. My hair is on point. No, you're not blocked. But that's why people love, Teen Titans. That's why they love Young Justice, because it's a combination of books that cater to, young adults that doesn't, treat them like idiots. Having said that, what was the question before? Somebody asked a question before, and I said we were going to talk about that. What was it they said? Oh, would you rather have a really well-written event that's really long, or an event that's mediocre to bad but short? Oh, the answer to that question is I'd rather have a long event. And here's why. Um, how many of you guys are familiar with Jonathan Hickman? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. I'm going to assume most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with Jonathan Hickman. Those of you who aren't, you are missing out. Jonathan Hickman is, and you guys should go follow him on Twitter. Just be like, Comics Explained sent me here. Comics Explained said I need to follow you on Twitter. But Jonathan Hickman is solid. Like, he is very, very good. Okay, yeah, Jared Leto. That's right. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. The Jonathan Hickman is great when he tells a story, because here's what Jonathan Hickman does. Jonathan Hickman says, like, there's this theme going on here, and there's this thing going on here, and there's this thing here, and this thing down here, and down here, and down here, and all over the place, you know. And then as the story comes to an end, it comes into a singular point, it all merges together into a singular thing. And it's amazing the way it's done, because I saw an interview once where he said that he starts at the end of a story. He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants the end to be, and then works his way forward. And that's the best way to write a story, because, you know, by the time it ends, people don't feel like you were just kind of desperate to end it, and you were just like, well, and then that happens, and the story's over, done. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Fans don't get that feeling, you know. Like, they get the feeling of, okay, you know, this story is a complete story. It's a full-on, you know, total telling. And that's why people love Hickman, because he does that. He writes these great, big, huge, long, drawn-out stories that go on for years sometimes, and they're amazing, you know. Having said that, long events are a pain in the ass for me, because I got to explain it all. But nonetheless, you know, I love reading the great, big, huge, long events. Okay, Jared Leto Joker. Okay, so as I understand it, the on-running theory is that Jared Leto is either was Robin, like was Jason Todd, or tortured Jason Todd. But is that the on-running theory that Jared Leto is Jason Todd, like the Joker is Jason Todd in this story? If it is, like, that theory is amazing. You're like, why are people asking if they're blocked? Like, you're not blocked. I know you're not blocked because I can see you typing. Otherwise, it would just say you're blocked. Let's see. Yeah, like, somebody confirm for me if that's the rumor or not. That, like, Jared Leto, that, like, you know, Jason Todd is the Joker in that Joker 2.0 and Batman Beyond. Yeah, I figured it was debunked. Like, I figured it wasn't true. But, you know, that would have been a really, really cool idea. We just started a little bit ago. We just started about 20 minutes ago. So, would I read Hawkeye kills the Marvel Universe? Absolutely not. How's Hawkeye going to kill the Marvel Universe? Hawkeye got killed in the Marvel Universe. No, I couldn't see that. Do you like the idea of Captain America Civil War? Oh, I love the idea. I think it's going to be awesome. I like the idea that, well, it's kind of a mashup. Like, it's clear, and with the direction things are going, that the movie is going to be like a slimmed down, stripped down version of the comic book series. And you know, like I mentioned on Periscope yesterday, for those of you guys that don't, you know, follow me on Periscope, check me out there. Like, I get on Periscope all the time, but you know, they really couldn't do like the full-on Civil War event in a single movie. That would be outrageous. Like, you'd have way too much going on. It would put like Age of Ultron to shame in terms of how much stuff you have going, or how much stuff they would have going on. You know, having said that, I like the idea that it's pretty much condensed down, and it's basically the main stars of the Avengers film, of Avengers Age of Ultron, and a couple of the characters, Black Panther. I like what they have going on so far. I'd like to see it expanded. Like, I'd like to see this say, like, this is the initial confrontation, and over the course of, like, Phase 4, it's just going to be an expansion of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Civil War. They may or may not. It's fine. It's not a huge deal to me, but I'd like to see that happen. And having said that, with what they have so far, I'm down with it. Like, I'm not upset at all. I think it's cool. Let's see. Can Captain America kill the Marvel Universe? Yeah, he probably could if he tried. Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. Oh, Red Hood gets that one. Like, I love the Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes is cool, man, but I got to give it to the Red Hood. So here's a problem, though, with debates like that. Like, whenever you say, like, Marvel character versus DC character, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter whether they're better or not. It's just fans of that character are going to be like, my character would win. Not because I really think he would, but because I'm a fan of that character. I don't want to see him lose. And that's fine. It's human nature. I mean, why would you be a fan of a character and then, like, say that he loses every fight that he gets in? But there's no winning. Like, I thought about doing a video on Goku versus Vegeta. Like, who's better, Goku versus Vegeta? But that video would be nuts, because Vegeta fans would be like, Vegeta's clearly better, and Goku fans would be like, Goku's clearly better, and they would be all upset and and all hurt, have their feelings all hurt and everything. If I were just like their character is not as good as the other one. If Goku fans, if I told Goku fans Vegeta's better, like Goku fans would be all upset. If I told Vegeta fans that Goku was better, Vegeta fans would be all upset. And so I may just jump into it anyway and see what's up. But I don't want to turn my channel into a place where people just like dump all their anger and rage in the world, And so I might stay away from a topic like that. But would love a review on S.H.I.E.L.D. 2010 if you read the series. I think it would be in your wheelhouse. It's okay. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s all right, but I don't think it was all that great. Thoughts on Thanos? I mean, he's real. I mean, he's there. Like, he's in love with Mistress Death and he loves killing people. It's like me, Superman, and my friends Bat. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it's like. Will Captain America die in Civil War? Probably. Most likely, I see him dying. Either that or dying in Infinity War. As far as I know, he's signed on for Captain America 3 Civil War and then one more movie. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. We have 2 hurricanes heading towards Hawaii this week. Well, that's... Stay safe. Don't get hurt. I mean, hurricanes are dangerous, man. Like... introducing magic to the MCU. Thoughts? It is long overdue. We definitely need some magic in the MCU, and here's why. The MCU is really, really cool because you've got characters with powers, but all the powers are like science-based, like Captain America's is based on a serum devised by a scientist. Tony Stark's power is he's a scientist, and he creates super genius stuff. With the Mandarin, we thought there was going to be some level of magic, but there wasn't. It was literally just, a substance, extremis, something that interacts with the human DNA. And the Mandarin himself, was proven, Trevor, whatever his name was proven to be an actor, So now the Mandarin, just to be sure, guys, the Mandarin does exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as far as we know. We just haven't seen him yet, and we may not, but all the elements there are science based. The Incredible Hulk is science based, it's interaction with DNA and so on. The only thing that really kind of stretches away from science is like Asgard. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe just basically says, well, they're gods and they've been around for, millennia and countless years. And so, and so like we need somebody who comes along and it's just like, what I'm doing here is quite literally equivalent to pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Like it's magic, and we need that. Like we need something where it's just magic because it introduces all kinds of different elements. It introduces new alternate realities and all different kinds of things, dimensions and stuff. Trevor Slattery, there we go. It introduces different dimensions and things like that, and it's a cool concept, it's a really cool idea, and I think we're overdue for that because I like the realism of the MCU, but anything done in excess is terrible, regardless of how much you love it. And despite the fact that the MCU takes a realistic, approach to comic books, I love that element. I also want to see some fantasy thrown in there. I want to see some, well, there's no way that's ridiculous. Like I want to see some of that, thrown in there. And I think that Doctor Strange would be that. Like he'd be able to do those things. What do I think about Shima Gorath? I mean, he's one of the many angled ones. I mean, he was a big villain. He killed the ancient one. I mean. Aside from that, do you like Halo? Halo's alright. I used to play it all the time back in 2007. Rob, oh my god, his image will be forklift. What are you talking about? What now? His image will be forklifted to every hype. Your opinion on what caused a civil war? The comics was about registration. Yeah, as far as I know, it's going to be about registration. I think there was like some leak that happened a while ago where they were talking about, oh god. They were talking about like the casting. They were casting extras, and the plot, the synopsis, as it was given to the extras, was that the movie's going to be on registration, and it makes sense. I think that what they're going to do, we won't really know the details of the plot until information is actually released or until the trailer comes out or something like that to give us an idea. Right now, it's all just kind of speculation out there and leaks and we can't verify those leaks, so I guess make it what you will. But as far as I know, with the idea of Civil War, it's going to focus on the fallout from Age of Ultron. That you had some robot that tore up a city and tried to destroy the Earth, and you had the fight between the Hulk and Iron Man and all that kind of good stuff. And so the government's like, it's time for registration. Like we need to register heroes or something, do something to keep them under control, and that makes sense. Yeah, Civil War is about being held accountable, basically. Dark Souls is so amazing, Rob. Yeah, I never got into Dark Souls. Like I've heard it's a real tough game though. Black Panther versus Batman. Do you read Game of Thrones? No, but I watched the TV show, and it's pretty amazing. Although right now I think it's on hiatus until it comes back. Yeah, the teams have been confirmed. Yeah, I know about that. We were talking about that on Periscope last night. Scarlet Witch is the problem. What do you think will happen to the Fantastic Four? I think eventually, I don't know. I think Fox is not going to let that go. I think Fox is like, hey, look, guys, we just made that video so we could keep the rights. Like, we don't care. I mean, Fox is I'm going to be honest with you guys. Fox is a multi-billion-dollar company. They don't care about public opinion on the Fantastic Four. If the movie makes money, they're going to keep on making them. If the movies don't make money, they're not going to make them. Here's going to be the key. The key is going to be if their reboot, like if the sequel succeeds. If it doesn't succeed, then they'll probably give the rights back. Now, having said that, if you guys want Marvel to get the rights back to the Fantastic Four, stop going to see the Fantastic Four movies. I'm not going to go see them anymore. Like, if that's the best way to give the rights back to Marvel, is don't go see the Fantastic Four movies. That's the best thing I can do to advocate that, is don't go see the movies. Let the movies fail financially. And when they fail and Fox isn't making any money on it, they'll give the rights back. So, let's see. Since you like Sentry so much, do you have the Marvel Legends Sentry figure? No, I don't. That'd be cool if I did, though. Have you played Until Dawn? No, but I was watching Chris Smooth's playthrough. For those of you guys that don't know, Chris Smooth is this really, really funny guy. He does, he used to do Call of Duty videos back in the day, but he's a really funny video game YouTuber. He has like 2 million subscribers. Like, the guy's channel's huge. I mean, I've been watching him for, years. Since about 2009 or so. Like, I've been watching him for a long time. But he's doing a playthrough of Until Dawn, and it's really funny. So I'd go check that out if I were you guys. Do you prefer physical copies of comics or are you digital? I prefer physical. It depends. Marvel Unlimited for when I'm going through stories and stuff like that, and really, really old comics and things like that. Like, I prefer, obviously digital, because I can't afford to go out and buy a copy of Amazing Fantasy Amazing Fantasy number 15. Like, I can't afford to go out and buy one of those, because those things in the worst condition cost $50,000. In the best condition, they're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so, for newer stuff, buying new things, Secret Wars, things like that, I prefer physical copies. Let's see. And I don't have any water. That sucks. Is the Xbox One worth buying? Not really. I mean, I bought it just so I could play Minecraft with my niece, and I still haven't done it yet. I need to hook it up so I can hang out, so we can hang out and talk and so on. But I disconnected it all, like I disconnected the PS4, the Xbox One, things like that, so, do you think Watch Mojo is getting overrated? No, Watch Mojo makes great videos. The shot clock cheese. Chris Move is amazing. Let's see. Comics Explained, stop with verses, and let's ask smart questions. I was under the impression that I was doing the Q&A. Am I wrong? Like, I'm not. I was under that impression that I was doing the Q&A. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not the one doing the Q&A. I don't know. Who's your favorite superhero? We've gone over that before. My favorite superhero is the Sentry. Have you played Batman Arkham Knight? Yes, I've played Batman Arkham Knight. The best Arkham Knight game, the best Batman game that I've played so far is, oh my God, the one that just came out. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. What time is it over there? It's 10 a.m. over here. You guys are asking weird questions. After Phase 4, what happens? No idea. I'd like to see an expansive Civil War, but we may or may not see that. 5 things you want to see in Guardians Volume 2. Yeah, in Guardians number 2. Adam Warlock, another Infinity Stone, some form of Nova, whether it's Richard Rider or Sam Alexander. One of the cosmic entities, and some mention of the Avengers. Let's see. Yeah, Arkham City. Yeah. No, that's not Arkham. That's not it. Yeah, poop on the Joker making rules for. Yeah, there's so many questions coming in. Let's see. Yeah, Arkham Knight. Okay, yeah. Rob, do you think the Tribunal will come back in Secret Wars? Nah, I don't know. The question is the one above all even alive in Secret Wars? Hickman hasn't addressed that. I have no idea if that's the case or not. Let's see. Who's your favorite Star Wars character in canon or not? Oh, definitely Darth Revan. Darth Revan was a great character. What's in store for Comics Explained Phase 3? Indie Comics, Dragon Ball Z, Marvel, and DC. let's see. Do you better spend money on digital comics, iPad, or go for the graphic novels? It depends. I mean, trades are a really good idea. And okay, here's the difference, guys. For those of you who are wanting to get into comics, and you find yourself asking the question, should you get individual comics or should you get trades? It really depends. I mean, it really depends on what you like. Trades are a really good idea if you're reading a story arc. You know, for example, like if you wanted to read Night of the Owls, Court of the Owls, Batman Endgame, Death of the Family, you know, the lead up to Superman Truth itself. If you wanted to read Secret Wars, if you wanted to read, you know, the House of M or something like that, you know, those big events, trades are where you want to go because you don't have to worry about reading orders. If what you're wanting to read is something that's, you know, 5 issues, well, then that's self-explanatory. That's simple. You can just get single issues for that. In truth, it just comes down to preference. You know, for example, I talked to Variant Comics, and my, you know, for my personal preference, I like the idea of owning individual issues, you know, that are just kind of based, like Star Wars. You know, I bought this just because it's a Variant comic, and I like Variant Comics, and it looks cool. Like that's why I got that, you know, the Variant cover. You know, not Variant Comics. That's why I got the Variant cover, you know, because it looks cool, you know, and I like that. It's really personal preference. There are some people that just like owning the individual issues of entire events. You know, they love, like, you know, they'll go out and buy Court of the Owls and buy each individual issue because they like that. They like that idea. You know, it's based on preference. You know, but for me, I like buying trades. You know, I don't like having to worry about individual, especially when you're talking about like 2-year runs. Like Red Hulk is a 2-year run under Jeff Loeb. I'm not going to buy every single individual issue because it comes out to be the trades are usually cheaper than buying each individual issue. And did you like the Spawn movie? The Spawn movie wasn't that bad at all. It was pretty decent. I mean, it was fun at the time. You know, it's actually surprisingly accurate in comparison to the comic book. The problem was that like the only really good characters were like John Leguizamo and Michael Jai White, and that was John Leguizamo was hilarious as the Violator in that movie. What do I want to see in Infinity Gauntlet? I want to see it, like, I think what they're going to do is basically reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if there's any one thing that I want to see in the Infinity Gauntlet story, it is Thanos wiping out half the life in the universe by snapping his fingers. That's what I want to see. It's just, like, literally him just... and gone, and that's it. It would be a spectacular demonstration of how powerful the Infinity Gauntlet is, not some crazy, wild, major conflict or anything like that. That's why that moment was so good, because it wasn't this great, big, huge, crazy, insane moment. It wasn't like, oh my god, all these things are happening and everybody's fighting, and Thanos literally walks out to the edge of the shrine, snaps his fingers, and half the life in the universe is gone. And that, I think, is a really cool thing. It would say a lot, you know, and that, I think, would be pretty awesome. Blade's daughter sounds it sounds a lot more interesting than it is. Morning, Rob. I have a question. Will there be more Star Wars content on your channel? We'll probably start moving in that direction at some point along the line. Once we get closer to Star Wars, we might move towards that direction. But as it stands right now, there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of interest in Star Wars on my channel. People didn't really seem to like it that much, and so, you know. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna make videos that are gonna be successful, and so that's one of the things about indie comics is kind of trying different things, seeing what I enjoy, you know, in conjunction with what my fans enjoy. And if I upload a video and a majority of people just don't watch it, then obviously it's not resonating with the majority of the fans that I have, which is fine. You know, YouTube's trial and error, trying new things, and you know, and plus the other half of this equation is, you know, when I was first starting out on YouTube, and we were talking about this on Periscope yesterday, you know, when I was starting out on YouTube, I had no idea on how anything worked, and so I was trying to figure things out and trying new things, and I was getting burned out on making 20-minute videos. Like making those 20-minute videos, it got to the point that by the time I started, like, I was ready to quit YouTube. Like, I was ready to stop. I was like, I'm ready to be done with YouTube. Like, I'm ready to quit and walk away. Like, I got that burned out on making 20-minute videos, and the problem was, you know, I love doing YouTube, but I don't want to push myself to the point where I literally just want to quit. And so, like, I just started scaling the videos back. And then from there, people started taking off because I wasn't sticking with the old videos and people were leaving. And then it was, the issue that I ran into was trying to please everybody and no one at the same time. Like, I spent the first year of my YouTube channel trying to satisfy every request that everybody had. People were like, well, you should do 20-minute videos. I was like, okay, well, I'll try that. And they're like, no, I like the shorter videos and trying that. And it was getting pulled in every direction. And I was basically shooting myself in the foot. And so it got to the point where I was just like, stop. And I just started making content that I enjoyed. And that's where I'm at right now. So it's kind of, I mean, you know, I think a lot of the older fans are just kind of like, I'm out of here, and they bailed out. And that's fine, you know. But it's you know, the key about YouTube, and here's the advice that I would give any of you guys. who are wanting to get into YouTube. The key about YouTube is doing what you love. And if you love what you do, then YouTube is paradise. If you hate what you do, YouTube is a nightmare. And that's one of the reasons why I just started doing everything, started doing stuff that I loved, and it may be that this will all fizzle out, and it may be that this will all just go away, and it may be that this will all just kind of crumble, fail, and that's good, and that's it. And I'll go back to working at UK, and if that's the case, that's fine, but for me, I like doing what I enjoy, and I think that's the important thing on YouTube. So, when will we see a Civil War trailer? In December. I was so upset about that. Like, they released the information about Civil War, and they released some information at D23, and they were like, the trailer officially comes out in December, and it was like, well, that sucks. So, let's see, Rob, what is the weakest point of the Inhumans from your perspective, story-wise? Well, the problem with the Inhumans is 9 times out of 10 they're so isolated, like they're so removed from everything that goes on, with YouTube, or I'm sorry, with the Inhumans, it's what Marvel's doing right now with the Inhumans is they're basically trying to mold them into the X-Men. But the problem is the X-Men had such a long and expansive history and so many incredible stories that, especially during Claremont's era and even after him, there were so many incredible stories that were written that the Inhumans are basically like starting all over again. I mean, the Inhumans were featured sporadically. Like, here's what Marvel basically did. Marvel said, here's this great big huge foundation, this huge massive skyscraper that is the X-Men, and here is this 15-foot tall building. That's the Inhumans. The Inhumans were featured in backup stories. The Inhumans were featured occasionally, over the course of, they had limited volumes, limited series, that sometimes they lasted 6 issues, and they were mini-series, whatever the case may be. And then Marvel said, well, we can't get the right back to the X-Men, so they knocked down the skyscraper, and they replaced it with this 6-story building that they're slowly starting to build up. Having said that, Charles Soule's Inhumans was really, really good, and if you guys haven't read it, you guys need to read it. It's so good. It's part of the fallout from Inhuman, or I guess Inhumanity, and the Terrigen mist spreading throughout the world, and it was really good, But they're basically trying to build things back up, and they may be successful. It's just the Inhumans don't have the same kind of appeal as the X-Men did. Having said that, it's anybody could be an Inhuman now, and so it's not. No, the Inhumans are not mutants. They're a result of Terrigenesis. Like, they have genes. I've got a video on it. It would take me 15 minutes to explain it, but they're not mutants. What if they resurrected me with the Dragon Balls? That would be crazy. I'd love to know how they did that. Looking forward to what if Green Goblin gets the Infinity Gauntlet. I've never read that story. Illuminati in the MCU. I'm kind of hoping that happens. I'm kind of hoping. Ooh, who were your top 5 writers? Oh God, top 5 writers. Well, definitely Jeff Johns and Scott Snyder from DC. Jonathan Hickman, Brian Michael Bendis, and probably Chris Claremont, are my top 5 writers. Am I coming to Baltimore Comic Con? Yes, I am. Rob, have you read Green Lantern Rebirth, Sinestro Corps, Lantern War? No. Well, I've been reading Rebirth. I'm almost through it right now. I got sidetracked with all these videos and stuff, and so I definitely like to get back into Green Lantern. Yeah, it is like 7 a.m. in Seattle. I'd love to get back into Green Lantern Rebirth. I just haven't had a chance yet, but I definitely want to get into Green Lantern. Like, we're going through and doing like the New 52 and all that stuff, and so since the starting point, basically, like, I mean, here's what will happen. Like, when we go over Green Lantern Rebirth, it'll literally just be like, Hal Jordan was Green Lantern for a while. They killed him off, replaced him with Kyle Rayner, and then they brought him back, in Jeff Johns' Green Lantern Rebirth, and then go from there. It'll be more than that. I mean, it's not going to be just that 3 sentences. There'll be more to it than that. Why they killed him off, and how Kyle Rayner was received, and that time between Hal Jordan being gone and his life as the Spectre and different things like that. But that's basically it. Like, if you want to get into New 52 Green Lantern, like, start with Green Lantern Rebirth in 2006 and then move forward, so let's see. Oh, whoops, forgot to reopen the vents on these things. Superman controlled by Lex since he is kneeling in the no, I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if Zod came back as Doomsday, though. I think that's like the rumor, isn't it? Like, Zod is going to be Doomsday. Rob, are you coming to New York Comic Con? Actually, I'm not. my friend's having a wedding, and so I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, I told Benny and Sal about that already. So, let's see. You answered my boy's question. Props, homie. Yes, I did. Who was your favorite Flash? Ooh. To be honest, Wally West. Wally West is my favorite Flash, and here's why. And this is why I don't really agree with them bringing back Barry Allen. I know if there are fans of Barry Allen, but here's the reason why I don't agree with that. The people who were reading Flash when DC relaunched, like when they launched the New 52, were reading Barry Allen. It made no sense to get rid of him and to replace him with I'm sorry, they were reading Wally West. It made no sense to replace him and bring back Barry Allen. Barry Allen died in 1985, which means that, for 26 years, you had people who were reading Wally West. Why would you take your most popular character, your current version of the Flash, get rid of him and replace him with an old one that people never read, or that the current generation almost never read? I mean, I'm sure they were getting, but the problem is they were phasing out of Barry Allen, so, even if they were, 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years old at the time that Barry Allen was killed off in Crisis on Infinite Earths, by the time it got around, to 2011, they were like, okay, I'm on board with Wally West. I mean, with Wally West, we got the Speed Force. With Wally West, we got all these really cool things. Wally West grew as a character, grew out of the shadow of Barry Allen. I mean, he, so much work and time, especially by Mark Waid, was put into Wally West. And then suddenly Wally West is gone, and now, so here's the problem that people have with Wally West now, and I might make a video on this. The problem that people have with Wally West is he's a caricature. Like, he is this, he's some perception that someone had that in truth is a very skewed perception, but he's a young African-American kid who mouths off to authority and no one's going to tell him what to do or anything like that. That's preposterous, and fans hate that. Fans are like, we don't want to see stereotypes in comics. We want to see real, decent representations of people. And I got to tell you, as a black guy, reading Wally West, picking up with Wally West, I was pissed. I was like, I'm not mad because this isn't the Wally West that I grew up with. I'm mad because this is not a very good depiction of, a young black kid. And I never really got into it. But nonetheless, DC's going with their own thing. Far be it for me to tell them what they can and can't do. All I can do is just refuse to buy into the character, and that's what I'm doing right now. Which is kind of sad to see, because Wally West had a great legacy, a great history, But, anyway, you want Wally West back? Yeah, a lot of fans are like, we want Wally West back. Let's see. What do you think about the other Marvel character Wesley Snipes was talking about that could kick Blade's ass? There's a lot of characters that could kick Blade's ass, so I'm not sure who you're talking about. Let's see. He was the bomb and just, yeah. Have you ever read Sonic or Mega Man? I've never read a Sonic or Mega Man comic. I always thought it'd be cool to read a Sonic or Mega Man comic, but I've never read one. Let's see. It's, do you think... Oh, did I read the Chaos War? No, I haven't read the Chaos War. Favorite Elseworlds story? Ooh. Superman Red Sun. That was so good. It was huge, but it was so good. Hopes for the Flash season 2, Jay Garrick. I really want to see Jay Garrick. I want to see the Flash of Two Worlds. I want to see Jay Garrick in old school, like 1940s Flash. The best speedster? Well, I mean, the best speedster as he's depicted in DC Comics is Barry Allen. Having said that, in my mind, best speedster is Wally West. Let's see. Should comics stop rebooting timeline and be like mangas and continue on? Well, see, here's the problem. Is, see, it's... With Japan, it's different, my experience is isolated to Dragon Ball Z, so I'm not going to speak for, any of the other mangas that Japan has. But with Dragon Ball Z, it was simple. Dragon Ball Z was sagas. It was eras. You could pick up, with when Vegeta first showed up, which was the beginning of the series, to be truthful. You could pick up with Frieza, you could pick up with Cell, you could pick up with, all these different characters. And you could at least gain some understanding by either reading online or something like that. With comics, it's not that easy. And here's a problem. And for those of you guys who were expressing some frustration with DCU, we're going to talk about that, here for a second. One of the big issues with DCU that I had was that things were complicated and things didn't make a whole lot of sense. For fans getting into DC Comics, while it seems as though they wouldn't care about continuity, I'd say that's not the case. Fans want to know where things fit in. If a fan walks into a comic book store and they say, I want to read Batman, where do I start? And the person says, well, read, Court of the Owls, Night of the Owls, Endgame, Death of the Family, so on. And they read that and they say, okay, cool. Now I want to read current Batman. Where do I start? And they say, well, you can go with the Justice League where he's sitting on the Morbius chair and he's God, or you can read the one where he's not Batman in his own comic book series. And fans are like, what? I don't understand. Like, why is he Batman in Justice League, but he's not Batman in his own series? And that confuses the heck out of fans. It confuses, or at least new people, it confuses them so bad because they're like, well, I mean, where do they fit? Like, where do they fit in relation to one another? And DC's just kind of like, well, I mean, you know, it's... And that's it. And you don't really get a clear-cut answer until some event comes along that retcons it all and just says, well, here's where everything rests, you know, and you have events like Future's End where DC's like, hey, here's what things could look like in 5 years, but they're not, so don't worry about it. Like, you don't even need to read this event. And that was it. You know, that's why I haven't done Future's End, because you don't need to read Future's End. You need to read Future's End for, like, the ending, where the Anti-Monitor shows up, and he's like, ugh. You know, and that's it. Like, I mean, and you can cover that. I can cover that over the course of, like, tie-in, you know, that's it. It's not necessary, you know, and so it confuses a lot of fans, it throws a lot of fans off, you know, it really confuses a lot of people, and it causes problems, you know, but, you know, nonetheless, I'm not the one that makes the decisions. It's just one of those kind of weird things. Wesley Snipes wants to be in the MCU. Blade? I wouldn't mind seeing Wesley Snipes as Blade. I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool. Tiffany versus the Beyonders. Oh, Tiffany would destroy the Beyonders. Like, yeah, I'm going to Baltimore Comic Con, guys. Why does it make sense that Batman can beat Superman, but not Superman? I mean, why does it make sense that Batman can beat Superman, but Superman can't beat Batman? Because because it just does. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's weird. It's just how the stories get told. Okay, let's be honest though. Like, it would be so easy. I mean, if you were just like, I mean, how would you create a conflict where Batman beats Superman, or I'm sorry, where Superman beats Batman and not make it difficult? I mean, you would literally have a comic where Superman would just show up, like knock on Batman's door, and Bruce Wayne's like, hello, and Superman just like punches his head off his shoulders, and that would be it. There'd be no story to tell. So, let's see, what's the best Eddie Murphy film? Probably Beverly Hills Cop. That was pretty amazing. Do I play Star Wars Battlefront? I played 1 and 2. I haven't played 3 yet. Well, I guess 3 hasn't come out yet, but I'm not sure if I'm going to play it or not. Let's see. Updated top 5 artists. Jim Lee, Alex Ross, Greg Capullo, Swain, and change how his parents died, and that'd be simple enough, but, you know, it's still a good show. Let's see. Do you think J.K. Simmons should reprise his role as J. Jonah Jameson? Yes, of course he should. J.K. Simmons was an amazing J. Jonah Jameson. Let's see. Rob, in your opinion, which sounds like a better story? Batman kills the Marvel Universe or Deadpool kills... Oh, Batman kills the Marvel Universe or Deadpool kills the DC Universe. Oh, I'd read them both. Could you imagine that? Deadpool kills the DC Universe? That would blow up, dude. That comic would sell so many issues. And then Batman kills the Marvel Universe would be amazing. Like, it'd be fun to do like a hypothetical video about that, you know. Like, Deadpool kills the DC Universe would be fun. Like, it'd be pretty fun. I'm not sure I'd want to do a video like that, because the problem that I would have is I think that people would feel duped. Like, if I made a video called Deadpool kills the DC Universe, people would show up thinking like, oh my god, what a great story. Like, I can't wait to watch this video. And it's like, hey guys, imagine that Deadpool killed the DC Universe. And they would just be like, man, you know, and they'd be kind of irritated. But having said that, you know, maybe I might title, you know, how could Deadpool kill the DC Universe? I think it'd be kind of cool. DC fans would be pissed. But then I guess we could offset it. You know, how could Batman kill the Marvel... I might do that. You know, how could Batman kill the Marvel Universe? You know, that'd be kind of a cool story to tell. The problem is making it visually interesting, you know, and, you know, that'd be kind of tough to do. But I think I might do that. That's a good idea. Let's see. Rob, how the Silver Surfer is still alive after Silver Surfer Silver Surfer Rec Room was not canon. That was I thought I'd mentioned that. Yeah, I mentioned that in the video that it's not part of continuity. That's an isolated story. That's completely separate in an alternate universe. So, yeah. Let's see. What kind of guitar is that? That is a Gibson guitar. What is your favorite childhood game? You do look like God with muscles. What's my favorite childhood game? Monopoly. Monopoly was amazing. What's your favorite brand of toilet paper? I've actually got Charmin Ultra, because, you know, Got to keep it soft. Nobody wants to wipe with sandpaper. I tried Cottonelle once. Like, Cottonelle sucks. It's a terrible toilet paper. Rob kills the MCU. Like, how would I kill the Marvel Universe? Hi, bye. Let's see. Akira Explained. That'd be an interesting one. Secret Wars issue 9. Please, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about them doing another issue of Secret Wars. I'm kind of on the fence about that. The Secret Wars is cool, you know, but I just don't know how I feel about them continuing the series on. It's just dragging on and on and on, and it kind of sucks. What's really interesting here is they're actually going to be relaunching. They're going to be launching the new Marvel Universe after Secret Wars, or I'm sorry, before Secret Wars is over. So it's going to be like Secret Wars is going on, and then like they're going to be, it's weird. I don't understand why Marvel's doing that. Do I have a PS Vita? No, I don't. Why are DC titles no longer related to each other? It's not necessarily they're not related to each other. It's just they're taking place, different events taking place at different times, and Marvel's or DC's just not telling us when those times are. I don't understand what they're doing right now. I mean, I just know that the stories are kind of interesting, and it's different. The easiest way to explain is don't worry about continuity. Don't think of it in terms of where do the stories relate to one another. Just think of it in terms of is the story interesting, and read it accordingly. So, the joke's on me, I guess. What do you think about Static Shock? What do you think of Static Shock in the DC universe? They're an interesting character. I don't really know much about them, to be honest. Uncle Ben for president? I would vote for Uncle Ben if he were running for president. Why are you called Uncle Bobby? Because I am amazing, that's why. Rob, can you do the complete death of Superman and the rise of all the clones? It's a long story. I may do that at some point. I mean, what I may do is just like fold the death of Superman into my discussion on the definitive Superman, which is coming along. I'm adding to the script whenever I have time. Like, let's see, year 1 or 0 year. Ooh. 0 year wasn't bad. 0 year was cool because you got to see Bruce Wayne growing up. You got to see him stepping in and becoming Batman. However, nobody beats Frank Miller on Batman. Did I say Superman? I didn't mean Superman. I meant Batman. It shows Batman growing up and becoming, Batman. Nobody beats Frank Miller on Batman. So, I mean, 0 year was a really, really good foundation to explain how it was that Bruce Wayne became Batman, the early things he went through, all that kind of good stuff. I don't know. That's a difficult one. But I'd say year 1, most likely. I'd probably have to go. If I had to pick one, I'd say year 1 was probably written better. What's your opinion on the Ultimate Universe? It was good at first, and then it just kind of stopped being interesting after a while. And I lost interest in it, And so I ended up, Rob, why you no stream ever? I'm streaming right now. So I ended up, really only focusing on Miles Morales, and after that, walked away. The vape box is, it looks like my room's on fire. No, I don't have any pets. I had a cat, but he ran away a long time ago. That sucks. I was crushed. Oh, my battery's low. Let's see. I meant, why does it make sense that Batman can be Superman, but not Goku? Oh, okay. Superman. Oh, okay. No, I don't know. I mean, okay, here's the thing, guys. Like, don't necessarily take Screw Attack's thing as an absolute. I mean, it's always your own opinion. You can, use their video as like a reference because they have a lot of really good information in their video. But no one else's opinion should ever be taken as fact. I mean, always come to your own conclusions. I mean, in truth, you're talking about two guys in two separate universes that will never meet. It's impossible to determine who's going to beat who. Having said that, I think it's pretty clear that Goku would beat Superman. So, I'm just saying. I don't know if there's really any debate there. Vaping Genius. Let's see. What do you think about Howard the Duck, Rob? Howard the Duck was interesting, but he was weird at the same time. He had a big cult following. There were elements of him that were kind of strange. I really couldn't get into him that much. But, he did have fans. He had hardcore fans. Rob needs a cable show? I don't know about that. But I think it'd be kind of cool to have a cable show. Oh God, what is this song? I am listening. I'm sorry, guys. Give me one. I'm listening to this hip hop mix right now, and this song is freaking amazing. Wow. Hey guys, when you get a chance, look up SINH, and it's called Early Spring. Yeah. SINH, and the song's called Early Spring. It's good. Like, this is a really good song. I really enjoy it. It's got a really cool beat. I might contact the guy that made the song and just be like, hey man, like, can I have your permission to use this in one of my videos? Let's see. Do you think Cap's team is stronger? Is it fair? No, I think there's teams that are split pretty evenly. Why weren't the X-Men in Infinity Gauntlet? Cyclops was, but everybody else is assumed to have simply been killed off. All Infinity Gauntlet did is it took their most popular characters and folded them in as part of the conflict. Let's see. Uncle Ben versus Alfred. Oh, like Alfred Pennyworth. Like, I'd take Alfred Pennyworth. That needs to happen. We need to see a battle video of like Uncle Ben versus Alfred Pennyworth. And like I'd love to see like two old men duking it out in the boxing ring. That'd be amazing. Like, I might do a video on that. You know, Uncle Ben versus Alfred Pennyworth. You know, yeah, I think I might do a video on that. You know, who would win? And it wouldn't be too long, maybe 5 or 6 minutes, because there's not a whole lot there. But you know, it'd be fun. You know, Alfred Pennyworth versus Uncle Ben. I think it'd be kind of funny. So, let's see. Have you watched Dragon Ball Super? Yes, I've watched Dragon Ball Super. I'm a big fan of it. Rob, the Avengers are obviously from characters already established. Would Marvel ever contemplate introducing a new superhero in the movies to join? I don't know. That's a good question, though. I mean, I'd be kind of down with that. Are you scared of Tiffany? Yes. And if you met Tiffany in real life, you would be too. Like Tiffany's cool, but Tiffany's like a no-nonsense person. And then, like, I mean, I'm not like scared, like I'm timid and like I don't say anything to her and like I run and hide. But I don't think I've ever seen her angry, although I think I've seen her irritated, and I'd hate to see her angry. So, let's see. Uncle Ben for the win. No, not by a long shot. Spider-Verse. Why did it suck? Because to me it was boring. What would you like to see happen in the Gotham series? I'd like to see it get good. I stopped watching a while ago. I lost interest in Gotham a while ago. Let's see. Yeah, that early spring song is good, man. Isn't like a good song? Favorite song to play on the guitar. Ooh. I don't know. I mean, I'm not very good at playing it, so whatever I kind of make up off the top of my head. Let's see. Did I read Ultimate Spider-Man between 2000 and 2009? No, I didn't read any other Peter Parker Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's see. How will anyone beat Ant-Man in CW? Oh, in Civil War, no one can see him? I don't know. That's a good question. Tony Stark will figure out a way to spot him. Let's see. Rob, hope you see this. I just wanted to know, when did Iron Man make such a jump in tech and power, in the Marvel comics especially? And he's always like, it was a gradual thing. He always just became like, as the comics increased, as technology increased in the real world, they were able to introduce more stuff. It always just kind of expanded. Have I played Kingdom Hearts? Yes, I've played Kingdom Hearts. I should do a video on Valiant's Divinity. Funnily enough, like, I'm probably going to start doing some videos on Valiant relatively soon. It's one of the indie comics I want to start branching into. How long has this been going on? For about a little under an hour. We're probably going to end it here in the next few minutes or so. But who's your favorite member of the Justice League and the X-Men? Ooh. Favorite member of the Justice League is probably Batman, but just because he's my favorite guy. Because at the end of the day, despite the fact how smart he is and all the stuff he could do, he's just a man. And you could kill Batman by sniping him with a rifle from, I don't know, half a mile away. Like, you could just kill Batman that way. Like, that's it. Like, that's all you would need to do to kill Batman, is shoot him from half a mile away. I'm surprised no one's done that. That would be like the shortest story ever, like a one-page issue, like the death of Batman, and it's just like some guy on a rooftop sniping him from a mile away, and Batman dies, and that's it, like a one-page issue. But that's what I like about Batman is he's really so vulnerable, despite what it is that he's capable of. Having said that, in terms of the Avengers, I think you said, my favorite character as part of the Avengers is probably Iron Man, just because he's got such a screwed up history. He's made so many mistakes and screwed stuff up, but he's still solid, and I really dig that. Let's see. Old Man Logan after Secret Wars. Yeah, that'll keep going, definitely. Captain America versus Batman. Batman would win. Let's see. Now, if DC and Marvel are both in multiverses, and the multiverse is generated based on quantum physics, then they both must share the same, unless you're talking about quantum mechanics, and they both share the same universe. Oh, man. I imagine they share the same multiverse, but I don't know, it's weird. Like, they had a DC multiverse, or a DC universe within Secret Wars. It was called Earth 4,290,001, I think. You like Margot as Harley. Yeah, she's not bad. It's weird. I think she's being depicted weird. I think a lot of like hardcore Harley Quinn fans are a little upset at how she's being depicted, but I don't really see anything wrong with it. I think she's fine. Let's see. The death of death. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and bring this live stream to an end. I'd love to stay on here, but I need to finish the script on Batman. And yeah, so I guess I'll catch you guys later. Peace.